Hello everyone, my name is Krishna Priya and this is a video on the Colossus, a poem by Sylvia Plath. Now, the things that we know about Sylvia Plath are quite peripheral. For example, we know that she was an American poet, that she was married to Ted Hughes, she was a confessional poet, and she committed suicide. Now, these are things that we know about Sylvia Plath, but there are so many things that we do not know about her. And I think the poem, The Colossus, gives you a very vivid picture of what she was actually going through. I would say it gives you a very good picture about what the child in her was going through. The inner child was suffering. You'll get a very poignant picture of Sylvia Plath's childhood. Now, without further ado, we'll just get right into the poem. But before that, we need to set the picture straight, right? Now, what is a colossus? Now, if you have watched movies like Bahubali, the South Indian movie like Bahubali, you will remember a scene where they show you a huge statue of Bahubali. Do you remember this? Now, that statue is what you call a colossus. A colossus refers to any statue of a gigantic proportion. Now, in this poem too, by Sylvia Plath, she shows you or she gives you a picture of a colossus. But the only difference is that in the poem you can see that this colossus is not standing. The colossus is demolished, destroyed. And you can see someone trying to fix that statue. You will see someone trying to clean that statue with a little bit of Lysol and trying to fix all these broken pieces together with some glue. Now, this is the picture that you need to keep in mind when you're reading the poem. And just imagine it like this. On a strange land, there is this broken, huge broken statue and someone, an individual, trying to clean that statue and trying to fix that statue with a little bit of glue. Now, this is the picture, and there's no one else around them. Okay, it's just the statue and the speaker, no one else. So, if now that if you got the picture straight, we can get into the poem. Okay, ready. Now, if someone asks you what the poem is about, there are two ways to answer that question. One, you could say that the poet is actually talking about the Colossus of Rhodes. Now, Rhodes was an island in Greece, and there once stood a huge statue, Colossus, of Helios, the sun god. And Helios was the patron god of the island, and there once stood a huge statue. The statue was built in 280 BC, and this was destroyed in 224 BC in an earthquake. So you could say that Sylvia Plath is actually talking about the Colossus of Rhodes. She could be celebrating the sun god, the Colossus of sun god that once stood in the island. Is that the case? Well, that is true because when it stood, the Colossus of Rhodes was considered as the tallest building in the ancient world. So she could be celebrating that building or it could be celebrating that Colossus. But is that all? Well, that's not all. And I would like to say that the poem is actually an extended metaphor. Yes, she is talking about the Colossus of Rhodes, but at the same time, she's actually talking about something else. Because if you look at the definition, you can see it on screen. If you look at the definition of Colossus, yes, it means as a statue of gigantic size and proportion. But a colossus also has a different meaning. It can refer to a person or thing of immense importance. For example, if you have someone and if you consider that person to be very important, that person is your colossus. So she is not just talking about the Colossus of Rhodes. She is talking about someone who was very important to her. And if you look at her biography, you can understand that she is actually talking about, yes, her father who is deceased. So for her, the Colossus is her father who she lost when she was just 8 years old. And this poem gives you a very poignant picture of grief, of frustration, of anger. And this shows her mixed feelings towards her father. Did she like her father? Well, definitely she loved her father very much. But at the same time, she hated her father. Probably because when he was alive, he was a very serious figure. Or because he died when she was very young and she was stripped off all the experiences that she could have with her father. So this poem gives you a very poignant picture of loss, of grief, and of that conflicted relationship. And this is a poem about someone trying to fix the statue, trying to get out of that grief. We know people who have overcome grief, who have overcome the grief of the death of their dear and near ones. But there are also people who have not. There are people who are stuck in the face of grief. And unfortunately, Sylvia Plath is someone who never overcame that phase of grief. You can understand that from her biography. Till the death, till her own death, she never overcame that pain and that grief. So is the poem about the Colossus of Rhodes, the ancient building? Yes. But is that all? No. This poem is also about someone who's trying to get over the feelings of grief, of anger, of frustration. This is someone who's trying to get equal with her father. So in this poem, you can see a lot of love, but there's a lot of anger and frustration towards her father. Okay, so we'll get right into the poem now. I'll not be, and I've shown you the poem on screen. You can pause it, you can read it, and you can enjoy it. And I'll not be giving you a very detailed summary of what the poem is about. I'll just give you some details that will help you understand the poem further when you read the poem on your own. Okay, fine. So when the poem begins, now that you have the image straight, you understand that the poet makes it very clear that she is trying to fix the statue. She knows very well at the same time that she cannot fix the statue. Are you able to understand this? See for yourself. The first stanza begins like this. I shall never get you put together entirely, pieced, glued, and properly joined. She knows for a fact that she cannot fix the statue, but she continues to do that even though this is a useless task. And for some strange reason, she says that this broken statue is making some weird noises. Mule bray, pig grunt, and bawdy cackles proceed from your great lips. It's worse than a barnyard. She says that some strange noises come out of this broken statue. But she's trying to fix the statue, the noises are being made, and she's directly talking to the statue. She's not talking to the audience. She's not talking to the readers. She's actually talking to the Colossus, the broken statue. It could be the broken statue of Colossus. It could be the dead father. And she says that I'm trying to fix you, but I'm not yet able to do that. And you're making some strange noises. And it's strange and it's louder and it's worse than a barnyard or a farm. Okay? And as the stanza proceeds, she talks to her father or to the Colossus of Rhodes, saying that you once considered yourself to be God, to be an oracle, the mouthpiece of the dead. But let me tell you something. You are nothing. You are not a god. You are not an oracle. You were never God. Because see what I'm doing right now to you? For 30 years now, I have labored to dredge the silt from your throat. I am none the wiser. I'm none the wiser. She says that maybe for a long time you, the Colossus, thought to be God. But let me tell you, you are not God. You were never the oracle. You were never the mouthpiece of death. Because I am now clearing the dirt from your throat because the statue is broken, right? And there might be a lot of silt, a lot of dirt in the statue. And this didn't fall recently. The statue did not fall recently. It fell long time ago. And she has been doing this act of cleaning for the last 30 years. And without any use, she has been doing it. And she tells the Colossus that, come on, I'm trying to fix this and you're not fixable. I cannot fix you. You are definitely not God. You are not an oracle or a mouthpiece of death. So that shows the mixed feelings. So whenever I'm talking about the poem, you, the listener, you need to figure this out. Is she actually talking about the Colossus of Rhodes? Yes. Is she also talking about her dead father with whom she shared a mixed feeling or a conflicted relationship with? Well, that is also there. Now, as the stanzas proceed, you see scaling little ladders with glue pots and pails of Lysol. I crawl like an ant in morning. That's a very poignant imagery there. It shows that she is trying to get on top of that statue because the statue is huge. Even though it's broken, it's huge. And she's trying to crawl up. She's with a little glue pot and pails of Lysol, buckets of Lysol, and she's going up there trying to clean the statue, fix the statue. And when you look at it from a distance, you feel that she's an ant compared to the huge statue, and she's trying to get the weeds from the statue because it's been a long time, and she's trying to clean the skull plates, and there's tumuli instead of the eyes, and tumuli refers to, the mound of earth and stones above the grave. Now, it is not skull anymore. It's maybe some dirt there, and she's trying to clean that dirt. Okay. So she's trying to fix it, but she's not able to do it. She looks like an ant while doing it because compared to the gigantic statue, she is an ant. In front of her father, she is an ant. And a blue sky out of the Orestia arches above us. Now, Orestia, these are imageries that Sylvia Plath just throws up, not throws up, throws in to give you a picture that she's not giving a positive imagery there. She's not talking about things that are happy. She's talking about things that are sad. That's why she gives you an imagery of Orestia. Now, Orestia is actually a trilogy written by Aeschylus, Greek poet, Greek tragedian, and Orestia is actually a trilogy, a tragedy by Aeschylus. Now, she's just giving that imagery to tell you, the reader, that this is a very sad image that I'm talking about. And for the first time in the poem, she refers to, "Oh, Father, all by yourself, your pity and historical as the Roman Forum." Now, the poem gets interesting because till now that you know, she was comparing her father to what? Yes, she was comparing her father to a Colossus of Rhodes, saying that you are as big as a statue, but just like that statue, you are also broken. The father is also the father has also died, and the father is a destroyed figure. But this time, she now compares her father to the Roman Forum. This is where the poem gets a little complicated. Now, what is a Roman Forum? Roman Forum was a set of government buildings that stood in the ancient Rome. And if you look at it, this is the ruins of, you can look at it on screen, this is the ruin of that building. And you see the pillars there. Now, in the ancient times, in ancient Rome, there were different kinds of pillars used. Some pillars were flute pillars. For example, if you see it on the left and right, for that matter, you see the lines on the pillars. That's what you call as a flute pillar. And if you look at the top of the pillar, you can see some designs, right? Some are of a leaf, and that's what you call as an acanthine. Acanthine is a leaf, and acanthine design was the most popular design in Greece during that time. So in a Roman forum, the building, they had these, pillars, flute pillars, because they had lines in those pillars, and they had designs of that acanthine leaves. That was the ornament, and that was the decoration. So she is now comparing her father to the Roman Forum with all those pillars and the acanthine designs. Are you able to get the picture here? I know it's a little complicated, but I hope you got the picture right. Now, this Roman Forum is also in ruins. She, for some reason, does not compare her father to anything that is standing. She's comparing to everything Greek and everything that is demolished and destroyed. So now she compares her dead father to the broken or destroyed Roman Forum. So that is why she merges those images together. She says that you are pithy, which means concise and historical as the Roman Forum, and your fluted bones and acanthine hair. So if you are looking at the Roman Forum, if you are seeing the broken, destroyed Forum, then you are seeing the pillars, and you are seeing the acanthine designs that are broken and laid out there. Are you able to understand? But if you're actually talking about the father, then she's actually comparing the bones of her father, the fragile bones that are lying on the floor, lying on the land, to that of the pillars. So the fluted bones can refer to the fragile bones of her father, and the acanthine hair refers to her father's hair, probably, or the hair of the statue, probably. Are you able to understand? So it is like the juxtaposition of imagery there, transposing images there. At one point, you feel like, at one glance, you feel like she's actually talking about the Roman Forum, the ruins of the Roman Forum. Or you could say that she's actually talking about a statue that is broken and destroyed and demolished. But then you also feel that she's actually talking about the dead father, and the father who is lying dead, and who is no longer someone she can fix. Now, are you able to understand this so far? And she now says the line there, I opened my lunch on a hill of black cypress. Black cypress refers to a tree, and this tree was a symbol of death. And she says that she is now there in a desert where there is black cypress, and she's having her lunch there. Why is she having her lunch there? Because that is where the statue is, the broken statue is, and that is where her father lies dead. And what is she doing all her life for 30 years? She's trying to fix that statue every single day. She's been doing that action again and again and again for the last 30 years. And there is nothing much that she is doing. So she's alone in that land of black cypress, and black cypress was a symbol of death too. And this is the black cypress tree. But I remember one of my students telling me that, ma'am, come on, that's just a black and white image of black cypress. I know that was just a mistake. Anyway, that is the tree, by the way. And this tree was a symbol of fallen heroes, of people who were dead. So she's alone there in a land of black cypress, alone, all alone, trying to fix a statue that is broken, that can never be fixed. She compares her father to a Roman forum that is again destroyed. Okay? And then she says a sentence here. It would take more than a lightning stroke to create such a ruin. Now, this is for the first time in the poem, there's a reference to what must have caused the statue to fall. What led to the destruction of the statue? Or what led to the destruction, or what led to the pain of what she's actually feeling, what Sylvia Plath is feeling. For something of such a magnitude, for such a ruin, it must have been a lightning stroke. It must have been something more than a lightning stroke, because a lightning stroke would not be the reason for would not have caused the destruction. It was something more. So the pain that she's carrying is much more than something that is caused by a lightning stroke. That line shows you the intensity of that pain that Sylvia Plath, as someone who is who is dealing with the death of her father. And in the case of the statue did not fall because of a lightning stroke. It fell because of something else, something worse than a lightning stroke. Is that clear so far? And now, this is one image that still hurts me a little. She says that you have to think about it like this. The night has come. She's been cleaning all day. She's been trying to fix the statue. And every night, she squats in the cornucopia of the statue's left ear. Cornucopia refers to this horn-shaped container. You see that image? Now, for the statue, it could be referring to the actual ear part of the statue. And it's a huge statue, right? So the hole could be really big. And she goes in there and she lies down there, and that's where she sleeps all night. So every night she goes there and she stays there. She looks at the stars. And when the morning comes, what do you think she'll be doing? Can you guess? Yes, she'll be waking up. She'll be taking her lights out, she'll be taking her glue, and she'll be trying to fix the statue. And by night, she'll go back to the cornucopia of the ear, as in the big, huge vacant part of the ear, the vacuum, the empty part of the ear of the statue. That's where she lies down. Okay, that's where she sleeps. So that's what she says. Nights I squat in the cornucopia of your left ear, out of the wind, counting the red stars and those of plum color. The sun rises under the pillar of your tongue. My hours are married to shadow. No longer do I listen to the scrape of a keel on the blank stones of the landing. And that's how the poem ends. She says that I've been doing this task for a long time. For 30 years, I've been with this statue, this broken statue, and it has always been you, the statue, the broken statue, and me, the one who is trying to fix it. There's been no one around us. And I've been waiting for someone to just come with a ship. So the keel refers to the bottom part of the ship. See the bottom part of the ship, and she's waiting for that vessel to come to the shore of where she is standing. But is the ship coming? No, no one is coming to save her from this misery, from this, pain of losing her father. It's just the statue, the broken statue, and herself. And she says that she has accepted the fact that she cannot move on. My hours are married to the shadow, which means it's married to the past. I am stuck in the past. I cannot. I am stuck with the statue. I'm stuck with the death of my father. And I no longer cannot listen to the scrape of keel. Maybe once she did have that feeling that someone would come to save her and to fix the statue, take the statue and her with them. But that's clearly not happening, and she's stuck here on the blank stones of the landing. It's all just her and the broken statue. So now you can tell me, is she actually talking about the Colossus of Rhodes, the broken Colossus of Rhodes that she's trying to fix? Is she actually talking about the Roman Forum? Is she actually talking about her father instead? I would say it's actually about her father because there's a reference, oh father. Now, it's a father with whom she shared a lot of conflicted feelings. She had so much more that she might have wanted to talk to her father, but really could not speak. There are many poems by Sylvia Plath, for that matter, that talks about her father. Daddy is one such poem. But quite sadly, I would say this is a poem that kind of ends in a very sad note with the speaker saying from the beginning till the end that she cannot get out of that sorrow. So this poem, in simpler words, is about an individual who cannot get out of it. Now, did you get a good picture about the poem? And please do tell me what you understood from the poem. And I have a feeling that Sylvia Plath gives you a lot of images here and there for you to, figure out. There are so much more that you can understand from the poem. This is just a primary understanding of the poem. Every single word could mean something else. Now, think about it. Why do you think she compares her father to Colossus, the Colossus of Rhodes, which was Helios, the sun god? So she is actually comparing her father to the sun god. So there's much more that you can get from the poem. So if there's anything that you could understand, that's something more that you could get from the poem, please do let me know. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you.